Hello, how are you?
I'm very well, thank you.
So, could you briefly introduce yourself?
Yes, my name's Simon Westbury. I'm the Head of International Development Department at Digitain.
Okay, so you have numbers of years of experience. How do you look back at your career?
Yeah, I've got 12 years of experience now. Um, I look back at it to see the many changes that have gone on in the industry, but at the same time, I look at it and go, wow, that was quick. I started 12 years ago organising conferences myself, and I've moved from payments to software supplying. Now I'm doing sports books. So yeah, it's been an amazing journey. As I say, I've probably aged quite badly through it, but I've seen the industry mature of late. So less late night parties for me.
So, why did you decide to take the invitation and become a speaker of the 12th edition of the summit?
Well, I think when I was originally approached, this is for my first time here, and I've been amazingly impressed by the quality of content and speakers. And it was also a bit of a new market for me. Obviously, Digitain is very prevalent in this market, and I joined Digitain now back in June. So it was the first opportunity for me to come and explore this market and understand some more of the regulation. The market's becoming more and more regulated, so I need to understand that as part of my job, and also to understand the innovations. And as we've found out, different geographical regions have different preferences of games. So I'm also meeting some of our suppliers here and also understanding how we can improve our existing products to appeal more to this market.
So, can you give us an overview of your conference session?
Well, I did two. I was a bit greedy this time. I moderated a panel on AI and gaming, and that was very interesting. We looked at the player lifetime value and the journey of the player while combining that with player protection issues, and also adding in lessons we can learn from other sectors and what we could learn from Google or Netflix, and also the automotive industry. So I think that was quite a good panel. I only moderated that, so I can't take full credit for it. And then I've just sat on a panel looking at the monetisation of gaming and different gaming avenues, looking at understanding how the video gaming industry may need to engage with regulators to fully understand what I believe will become a political snowball when you've got minors buying these loot cards and different countries looking at it in different ways.
So, why do you think it's so important to discuss exactly this topic?
I think it's important because AI is a great tool for innovation. I think it can be on both sides of the market, i.e. it can help enhance the player's experience. And I think as a gaming industry, we need to realise more we're an entertainment industry. I think we forget that. I think when we're at conferences like this, we entertain ourselves very well, but we don't always entertain the player. But also AI is a great technology that can be used to raise the level of player protection and the standards to ensure that they have an enjoyable experience. In terms of the monetisation and new gaming routes, I think as someone who's been on the supplier side for 12 years, I've been in contact with regulators all the time, and I think actually to help another industry come in and understand how to work with regulation, it may not be gambling regulation, but to understand how they may need to become engaged in regulation is something to benefit them and maybe avoid some of the late nights and challenges that I've faced as a supplier.
So, we are also curious to know about your feelings regarding the conference. What is your favorite part of this edition up to now?
I think this is the 12th edition. I feel a bit of a heathen for not coming before. I apologise for that. I think the best thing for me so far has been the networking. It's a great opportunity for me to meet some new faces. It's one of the conferences that I've come to, and I didn't know a large amount of the audience. So it's like going back to school in the original days 12 years ago and getting out there and introducing myself to people and learning a new market. I'm not going to say I know everything because I don't, and it's been a great opportunity for me to learn. And that the networking's been coupled with the informative sessions that we've been on. That actually has done some country by country regulation, which has been very interesting to me.
So, to sum it up, may we say that this event is a must attend for those who are engaged in the entertainment and gambling industry?
Yeah, I'd say it is, and although it's the Eastern European Gaming Summit, I'd say that actually there's many lessons that can be learned from here, from people who are maybe not necessarily based in the Eastern Europe. So I think the title makes sense, but also ignore the title, and if you get the opportunity to come, yes, it is a must-attend event.
So, if you had the power to change anything in the present state of the gambling industry, what would it be?
Here we go. I'd make regulation less political. I think we've seen recently, and I agree with the comments that came from GVC not long ago, saying that the regulation is becoming more and more politicised. We saw the UK government advisory body, can't remember the specific name, advised that online gambling slots should be limited to £2 a spin. Now that's very good in theory, but what they're forgetting and maybe neglecting is that these are politicians making those decisions. I think we go back to the FOB-Ts, where the UKGC advised £30 limit, the industry got down to a £20 limit, and then we were given the limit from the UK government. As part of that, they increased the tax levy on the online games, and now they want to limit that. Now, I fully agree, not gambling with credit cards. Game with what you've got, and it is entertainment. Don't get into debt. But at the same time, I think if you politicise gaming regulation, you're going to basically just draw players through VPNs to illegal gambling sites, and then there's no protection, and the governments won't be getting their tax money as well. So I think if I could change anything, it would to reset the relationship between the gaming operators, the gaming regulators and the gaming suppliers. And I gave an example when I was on the panel about how this needs to happen and what should happen, and no one wants to see anyone go to black markets or grey markets when there's a regulated market.
Yes. So, my last question for you is, if you could give one advice for the upcoming speakers next year, what would it be?
Well, I think I'll speak for one of my fellow panellists and for myself. One of my colleagues who spoke on the panel said it was the first time he spoke on a panel. He really enjoyed it. So I'd say actually do it. If you've spoken before at other conferences, come and experience this conference looking at Eastern Europe. And if you haven't, it's a great opportunity to start your speaking or moderating career.